if you want to make a whole bunch of money from a website online, gone are the days that you can just throw up any old content and you can make a bit of money from your ads on your actual website. Now you really need to have people on your site for a longer period of time, decrease your bounce rate so you can get a higher return on your ad investments that are on your actual website. And that's what I'm going to be talking about in this video today, on how you can increase time on your page and ad revenue with Ezoic's layout tester. There's no secret that the longer traffic stays on a website, it means they're having a better experience, which means they have more trust for you and also the ads you have on your website. In fact, if you haven't got a superior or great user experience on your website now and are not working on this, then you really should be. Because as Google, which most of the content websites and publishers heavily rely on to get their traffic, Google only want to be sending people from their platform, Google, to websites that have great user experiences, right? So, which is why Google is soon to be rolling out their Core Web Vitals update in 2021. So it's not only important to be working on your user experience so you don't lose traffic, it's also key to have the traffic who do visit your site stay longer. So for this Core Web Vitals update that is happening, it can rock your website if you're not prepared for it. So there should be a link here in the description of this video. So make sure you click that link for the Core Web Vitals update that's happening in Google. But this means that with your traffic spending more time on your site, it also increases your ad revenue too. In some cases, Ezoic users have tripled their ad revenue in just 1 year. I'll put a link to that as well in the show notes here. And hence why Ezoic is so heavy on their publishers and their users actually optimizing their websites. And that's what their platform is designed to help people with, is to ensure your website is set up and laid out in the best possible format to increase user experience, preventing you from being burnt by the Google update, the Core Vitals update that Ezoic has actually written about in articles, and I'll put a link to that one as well. And to help publishers actually increase ad revenue, that's what Ezoic, was designed to do, is to help users of websites have a better user experience and increase the ad revenue for the owners of that website as well, because the user experience is far better, right? So the way in which you can optimize your website to provide a better user experience can be done with how your website is presented, how it's laid out, and how adaptable your website is for various different devices. So that's where Ezoic's layout tester comes in. Firstly, the easiest win when optimizing your website for user experience is with the design and the layout of your actual site. It's quite clear that one of the biggest reasons someone is going to leave your website quite shortly after visiting is because of how hard it can be to either navigate your site, consume the content, or even feel comfortable browsing through your website. Now, when the traffic leaves your site momentarily after visiting, this causes a higher bounce rate, right? You can get bounce rates up to 95%, 90%, 80%, even 70% is not a great bounce rate. And it also decreases your overall time on page. And these are two very, very important metrics Google uses to validate the actual value of a website. So how Ezoic helps publishers minimize these metrics and provide a better on-page experience is by allowing publishers to go away and test different layouts within the Ezoic platform to see what layout will work best. And why this is great is because it prevents, site users or site owners, having to go through months and months of split testing and waiting for data to actually determine results, all to finally get the layout that works best on your website. And you can just do this so much quicker with this layout tester tool that Ezoic has. Now, have you ever visited a website as well, and you've done it on your mobile, visited a site on your mobile device and had to zoom in to read the text and scroll around to find the actual link or the button that you may need to click on? And if you do click on a button or you need to fill out a form, it's just nothing less frustrating when you're trying to fill it out. It's just so frustrating. My point is that every single website should have been converted to allow for a mobile version years ago. And we all know the stats of mobile users. For internet browsing in the US, it's over 80% of users browse online with a mobile, and it's increasing. So if you haven't already got a mobile friendly website, stop stuffing around, obviously, and go away and make it mobile friendly, because your site will be lost in Google if it isn't already. Now, with that, even some mobile friendly sites aren't the easiest to navigate, and there will undoubtedly be a crackdown on this through Google seeing the user experience decrease on mobile because of this. Now, what I like that Ezoic has done to combat this is their mobile converter tool. Now, this tool automatically converts your site to a mobile friendly version, though it also turns your mobile version into a PWA, which is what we call a progressive web application. This means that with this PWA, or progressive web application version, users can interact on your website like it's a mobile app on their phone. So it turns it into a mobile version, but it looks like a mobile app on their phone. And yes, they can do this without even needing to download an app, which I think is absolutely awesome. And they've also something that Ezoic has is the multivariate tester. Whilst we all know that most people are on mobile devices, there are also so many different devices people use to browse different websites, right? Now, this is why Ezoic's created their multivariate tester. I hope I'm getting this word correct. Multivariate tester. Basically, you can use this to test the perfect layout of your site for a large range of different devices that people may be using, meaning that if a big portion of your website viewers are visiting your website from, say, a Kindle or a dinosaur mobile device, so a dinosaur model mobile device, for example, you can have your website load in the most suitable version for that device. And I know it may not seem like much, because you may only have 5% of your traffic using one device, and then another 5% using another device, and then another 5% using a completely different device to those last two, right? So you got 3 times 5% of different users. Sure, the numbers seem small, but adding that up is 15% of your traffic. And they may all have a bad user experience. This can really affect your bounce rate and your time on page, causing your overall SEO profile or SEO score, or whatever you want to call it, to be compromised. And Google seeing that, simply due to a small percentage of your traffic browsing on unordinary devices or non-regular devices. So that's where that multivariate tool is really cool. So Ezoic has built this suite of tools to help you make your site better for the users, which is cool. But in turn, it helps your site make more money. That's what happens in short. It's without a doubt that the easier it is to scroll, navigate, and browse your website, the more people will not just come back, but hang out on your site longer. Yes, this means more valuable. Your site's more valuable, and like anything that's valuable, advertisers want a piece of it. So turning your website into a better asset means that, the more money advertisers can make from your site, which means the more money advertisers can actually pay you. So think of it this way. Joe Rogan sold his full podcast rights to Spotify. And why did Spotify buy these rights for a whopping $100 million? Because they know that people love the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, because they spend a lot of time listening. I'm talking over 3 hours for, many of his episodes. That means it's a very valuable asset to advertise on, which is why advertisers want to advertise on his platform, on his podcast, and why he can get paid handsomely from those advertisers like Spotify. So Spotify own the rights, and they can advertise on that medium as much as they like. This is the same with your website. The better you build the asset of yours that you have, the website, meaning the more valuable it becomes, this means more people spend longer on your site. And while this means you may not be making $100 million from your site, you certainly will have an attractive asset that advertisers will want to advertise on, meaning you can start to make bank, i.e. more money in your pocket. So if you want a tool that can help you, allow people to hang out on your site longer, make sure you check out Ezoic's layout tester tool. There's going to be a link here below because it should be a part of your arsenal if you own a content site and you're wanting to scale that content site to make more money. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video and really got some profound insights. And please, if you have any questions, ask any and all questions that you have in the comment section below. Speak to you soon.